Welcome back. Here's a quick recap to set the stage. A crushing pressure slams into the walls of Haben Castle, so intense it freezes both soldiers and monsters in place. Time itself seems to halt. Raon, tense and alert, thinks to himself, more than 12 hours have passed. Why hasn't the sun risen? Then, like a shadow tearing through reality, Sloth, the demon lord, appears before the castle. His aura floods the battlefield, suffocating everything in its path. The monsters closest to him collapse instantly, their bodies unable to withstand the overwhelming force. Wrath watches with a sly smile and declares, "He's a demon lord, on the same level as me." The monarch of laziness. If you're just tuning in or need a refresher, be sure to check out the previous chapter before plunging into what comes next. Now that we're caught up, let's dive into the heart of the story. Wrath's voice dripped with sarcasm as it introduced the demon lord. That sluggish creature is none other than the monarch of laziness. Sloth, the demon king, stood tall, releasing its aura as it gazed at the castle. Milan's hands began to tremble as he gripped his sword, his eyes fixed on the demon lord. "What is that?" he muttered, his voice barely audible over the growing sense of dread. The demon king's aura seemed to weigh heavily on Milan, and his reaction reflected the immense power and presence that Sloth exuded. Milan's voice trembled with fear as he asked, "How could a being like that exist?" Raon's gaze fell upon the commander, and he was taken aback by Milan's reaction. Even a master like Milan seemed shaken, and Raon realized that the presence of a demon lord was traumatic. It wasn't that Milan was weak, rather, his high level of skill and experience allowed him to sense the vast difference in power even more vividly. Raon's own gaze returned to the demon lord, and he felt a growing sense of horror. As Raon gazed at the demon lord, Wrath's voice cut in, "It's not as much as in the demon world, but it seems he's gathered a lot of energy, pretty good for a lazy bastard who just sleeps." Raon's eyes snapped towards Wrath in surprise, and he asked, "Why is he here? You weren't the only demon lord who descended on the human world?" Raon's gaze lingered on Wrath, seeking an answer. Wrath's response was laced with smugness, "Even if I tell you, there's no point. At your level, you wouldn't be able to understand anyway." Raon's gaze returned to the demon lord, and he asked Wrath again, "Then why is he here?" Wrath's response was straightforward, "The reason he's here is quite simple." Wrath explained, "Over the past year, from the small-scale skirmishes to the attack from the masked bastards, and the scouting that occurred even after the wave ended, the countless disturbances and tremors reached all the way to the peak of the mountain. Because of that, Sloth, who was sleeping at the top, has awakened. He remembers all that happened in a flash moment." Wrath's explanation shed light on the events that led to Sloth's awakening, and the demon lord's arrival on the scene. Wrath continued, "Before, he was just falling in and out of sleep, but this time, he's fully awake." A sly grin spread across Wrath's face as he said, "This is a good time for me to tell you a fun story." Raon's eyes widened in shock as he listened to Wrath's words. Wrath began to tell the tale. "The demon world is a land of endless carnage and desire. Someone who falls asleep out in the open in that kind of world is basically begging to be killed, but somehow, Sloth just wouldn't stop sleeping." Wrath's voice took on a tone of amusement as he asked his own question, "How did someone like that become a demon king?" He answered, "It's because he indiscriminately slaughtered anything that disturbed his slumber." He remembered cruel behavior of Sloth. If you said something to him, or attacked him, he killed anyone who woke him up, for 1,000 years. Eventually, he ended up becoming a lord of the demon world. Wrath's gaze fell upon Sloth, his eyes gleaming with a knowing look, as if recalling the countless slaughter of monsters in the demon world that had led to Sloth's rise to power. The story Wrath told painted a vivid picture of the demon world and Sloth's place within it. Raon's eyes widened in amazement as he began to piece together the implications. "Wait, but that means..." Before he could finish, Wrath chimed in with a smug tone, "Yeah. That guy came here to erase the people who disturbed his sleep." Wrath's face twisted into a smirk as he gazed at Raon, a mocking laugh escaping his lips. Raon's face twisted in worry as he exclaimed, "Shit. Is there no way to stop him?" Wrath's voice took on a calm and collected tone, "There's no way for you to stop him here. If there was an existence like me or your grandfather, he would try to avoid a fight, but there's nobody like that here." Raon's eyes widened in surprise as he spoke, "I thought he always killed everyone who woke him up." Wrath replied, "Win or lose, if a fight becomes long, it means he won't be able to sleep, so he hates that even more." Sloth's desire for sleep and aversion to prolonged battles added a layer of complexity to his character. Raon's thoughts were consumed by the demon lord's motivations, and he thought to himself, "He's completely crazy, so his sleep is the only thing that dictates every decision he makes." Wrath's voice turned serious. There are only two choices available to you. Either give me control of your body so I can stop him, or keep going and get annihilated. Raon's gaze fell upon the injured and tired soldiers who sat on the ground, their faces etched with exhaustion and fear. Wrath's words hung in the air. Outside of that, there's no way for you and those humans to survive this. Raon's mind was filled with fear as he thought, I need to decide. If I don't do anything, he'll start slaughtering until everyone here is dead. Then Wrath will forcefully take my body over before I die, and the human world will experience the worst-case scenario if the descent of two demon lords. He thought to make a condition. In that case, I should give him control with the condition of blocking Sloth. Raon spoke up, Wrath, you should take over. Before he could finish his sentence, Commander Milan's voice cut through the air, Raon Zieghardt. Raon's head snapped towards the commander in surprise, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and uncertainty. Raon's expression turned worried as he called out to the commander, his voice laced with doubt. Milan's gaze fell upon Raon, and he spoke in a pitiful tone, I'm truly thankful. Raon's eyes widened in shock and surprise as he looked at Milan. Pardon? What are you saying all of a sudden? The sudden change in Milan's demeanor and tone caught Raon off guard, and his reaction reflected his confusion. Milan's words poured out like a heartfelt confession. After you arrived here, everything in Haben Castle started going well. Your back, which you showed during the last raid, still looks ever so reliable to me. It's time now for me to become a model for everyone else. Then, he raised his sword, and a lighting aura emanated from him, shining towards the sky. Raon's eyes widened in worry. Commander, you're almost exhausted, but your aura. Before he could finish, Milan's words cut him off. I've lived as long as I needed to and accomplished many things. But you're different. You're someone who can achieve much bigger things in the future. Your era has not yet arrived. Raon's thoughts were a jumble of emotions as he processed Milan's words. Even in this hopeless situation, he hasn't given up. Has he already made peace with his end? I'm ashamed to have even thought about giving up. A surge of determination ignited within him, and he felt his own aura blaze with fiery intensity. He spoke to the commander, his voice filled with newfound resolve. It's too much to handle alone. I'll fight here alongside you, Commander. Raon's voice rang out, firm and commanding. Everyone, evacuate the castle. This is the order of the commander. The soldiers and Tyrion were taken aback, their faces etched with surprise and concern. Raon? Tyrion's voice was laced with desperation as he shouted, kneeling down under the pressure of the demon lord's presence. We can't just leave you too. One of the soldiers echoed his sentiments. We will fight until the end with you. The demon lord's presence loomed large, casting a shadow over the castle and its defenders. Milan's voice was firm and authoritative as he ordered Tyrion, how could you fight if you can't even stand properly right now? You all should try to at least save one more person. Isn't that what our purpose is? Tyrion's face twisted in frustration, and he clenched his teeth, rendered speechless by the commander's words. Tyrion's sudden turn towards the soldiers was a testament to his determination. All units, descend the castle walls and open the south gates. The longer we waste time here, the greater a burden we will be on those two people. The urgency in Tyrion's voice was palpable as he prioritized the evacuation of the soldiers. For every moment Raon and the commander hold on, we need to save one more person. As he ran towards the south gate, Tyrion's voice echoed back, Commander, Raon, you have to come back safe. Please, you have to survive. Wrath's voice dripped with mockery as he spoke. The meaningless struggle of weaklings to try and survive brings a tear to my eye. But it's already over. Raon's gaze followed his aura to Tyrion and the soldiers, a mix of emotions on his face. Suddenly, Wrath's announcement sent a chill through the air. He's already here. Sloth stood before the Haben castle wall. His gaze cold and calculating as he spoke. I'm tired and cold, because of you all. I had to come here. The air was electric with tension as Sloth's anger radiated towards the castle. His aura surged, releasing an overwhelming pressure that threatened to crush the castle walls. Raon stood atop the castle wall, his aura clashing violently with Sloth's aura. The demon lord's presence was suffocating, and Raon's thoughts were a jumble of emotions as he struggled to stand against the overwhelming force. What are these waves? He thought, gritting his teeth in determination. Suddenly, Wrath's voice cut through the chaos. I told you, you only have two choices. If you want to block that guy, you should give your body to me already. The urgency in Wrath's tone was palpable, and Raon was forced to reconsider his options in the face of Sloth's crushing power. Raon's thoughts were a flurry of determination and desperation as he refused to give in to Wrath's demands. No, I can't give in to Wrath yet. I'm desperate, but it's not completely over. If I gather all the information I've learned until now, I can find a solution. He recalled Rath's words about Sloth's behavior: cold, sleepy, similar strength, simple, time, and annoyance. Raon's mind worked tirelessly to piece together a plan, his thoughts racing with possibilities. As Rath's smile grew sly, he began to speak. Have you finally decided? Now you just have to give. But before he could finish, Raon interrupted. Let's make a deal. The words hung in the air, a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. As Sloth's gaze bore into Raon, he stood firm, his aura countering the demon lords with unyielding determination. Rath's surprise was palpable as he asked, "What? Did you say a deal?" Raon's response was laced with resolve. "I'll receive your anger, so give me the power to face him." His words were punctuated by the effort of withstanding Sloth's aura. Rath's anger flared, and he countered Raon's proposal with disdain. "Useless. Just because you face him, nothing will change, and this deal doesn't have any profit for me." Raon's confidence was unwavering as he explained, "What if I refuse to give you my body even if I die?" Rath's anger boiled over, and he shouted, "Bullshit." Raon's response was calm and calculated. "Shouldn't you know from watching me until now? Just like you don't lie. I don't make empty bluffs. If you refuse the deal, we'll both die here together. And if my method doesn't work, I promise I'll hand over my body to you immediately." Rath's anger and frustration simmered, his teeth clenched in a mixture of rage and consideration. Raon's words had struck a chord, and Rath's calculating nature was weighing the risks and benefits of the proposal. Milan's aura suddenly waned, and he collapsed, unconscious. Raon's eyes widened in surprise. And he turned to Rath, his voice laced with urgency and anger. "Answer me, yes or no." Rath's frustration was palpable as he gazed at Raon, his thoughts racing with the implications of the situation. After a moment's hesitation, Rath growled, "Damn it. You'll pay for this." He shared a spark of his anger with Raon, enveloping him in a blue flame. Sloth's gaze shifted to Raon, its expression a mixture of surprise and curiosity. "This energy," it thought, its eyes narrowing in consideration. With Rath's power coursing through him, Raon faced Sloth head-on, his voice dripping with disdain. "Trash like you, how dare you cause a scene in this haven?" The words were a challenge, a gauntlet thrown at Sloth's feet. Raon's words were laced with confidence as he released Rath's energy. "This is the territory of the Lord of Wrath. And I am the vessel that is holding Lord Wrath." Rath's eyes widened in shock and surprise, his gaze piercing Raon as if seeing him for the first time. The air was thick with tension as Rath's expression turned from anger to astonishment, his voice silenced by Raon's bold claim. Rath's voice thundered, "The vessel of Wrath? Why the hell are you the vessel of Wrath?" His anger was palpable as he demanded, "What are you trying right now?" Raon's thoughts were a sly smile. "What do you think? Punishing you for messing with me?" And reeling in a second pushover. Meanwhile, Sloth's gaze was fixed on Raon, who stood tall atop the walls, his confidence and aura radiating an air of authority. The scene was charged with tension, as Rath's fury and Raon's calm calculation hung in the balance. Friends, this chapter comes to an end. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us on this adventure. If you're excited to see what happens next, let me know in the comments, ask for more chapters, and I'll keep them coming. If you'd like to support the channel and be part of our family, consider joining as a member. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help grow this community. Until next time, stay tuned.